Okay, so today we're going to go through a real project for a real client. I'm going to show you what they want. He hit me up about wanting some kind of lead qualification system, which initially I made for him. He tested it out and he realized that for his use case, he needed something a bit more complex. So he reached out again and he said that what he wants for his use case is this. And we hopped on a call, we talked it over, we figured out what it is exactly that I need to build for him. And today we're going to go through that exact build, real build for real client. So yeah, we did a call, and I'll start by taking you through what we figured out about what he wants on the call. I'll write it all down, and then from there we'll go into actually building the whole thing and sending it to him so he can test it out. So let's do that. All right. So one thing we realized on the call was that his use case changed. By the way, the description has timestamps, so you can forward ahead. So we initially had scoring, lead scorer, and he wants now a lead matcher, a matching system. He says that the new goal he wants is basically if you have a bunch of people, right, who are applying for a certain position, he needs the matcher to say that the best person is 3. So it should match the request to the person, right? It's about the lead is since they are focused mainly on most of their leads are people who are in the content space. Now, for example, if you want an editor and number 4 is very good at filming, number 3 is an editor, number 2 writes scripts professionally. You want an editor. We want a system to match you with this, right? So I'm not gonna go into too much about obviously what his business does because I can't say without asking him. But the system that we're building is essentially this matching system. Okay? So the logic behind this is what? Like let's think about what the logic is supposed to look like. Let's do it like this. We'll go criteria, okay? And here we'll have the logic required. So first, the matching someone by the niche or industry that they are in will require semantic search. Then we have the the platform, right? The platform they're using. Think of it like this. This is not what they're building, but if you were building some kind of job search board and you needed to hire somebody who was good at YouTube, you're not gonna get somebody who has 10,000 YouTube subs but has 10 million TikTok 10 million is it followers on TikTok? Like that's not, you would look for somebody who has the opposite of that. Like we need so we would look at, we want YouTubers to match with people who are trying to grow YouTube, right? It's very like just kind of logical. What else would we look at if you wanted to match somebody who wanted something with somebody who has a skill is the budget. So what is this person charging for selling their ability to grow your YouTube channel? So obviously we need the budget to match this is, you know, we need like a way to match this person with the demand, which is the person on the other end. And so we'll need to normalize price. We'll need to, let's say, for example, use US dollars and convert all the other currencies into USD so that people who are on the platform can know what they're actually being charged. And then lastly, I think we have something called soft matching. Now, soft matching is basically we're not using any of these hard filters. We're pretty much just going to see maybe how consistent has the person been, how much experience do they have, what's their past work, any testimonials. Okay? So basically, we will use this to assess the how much of a match somebody is for somebody else. If you have somebody who wants a true professional with, if you want somebody who has done maybe video editing for the last 5 years, and you have somebody who has that, so they've done 5 years, okay? You have someone else who's done 5 years, but you have this person who has posted once a week consistently for the 5 years, and this person who's been maybe once every week, and then maybe twice the next month, and then maybe he goes back to one the next month. This is over the 5 years. This consistency will probably rank higher for us to connect them with somebody who wants that skill set. So this is soft matching. Okay, so if we look at it, how exactly are we going to take in the data? Well, based on what I went over with the call, is he even gave me a color palette to use. He wants a UI, technical implementation. Okay, so we have a UI, which means we have a user query, which will go into a filter. And initially maybe we'll filter like if a platform is YouTube, and then you could probably have, and price is, I don't know, 20K over a year or whatever. Then what else? What else would we look at? We said we need to look at industry or niche, right? That was the first one, industry or niche. And we'd also look at past work. Okay? So then we will look at industry and niche, and we will look at past work. And these three this will output the top three JSON objects plus why they match. So we can understand the reasoning of the LLM. Okay, I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. So in reality, what we're doing, well, actually, what I was thinking we're doing, when I just realized now that we're not doing, we're not actually, we don't need to train a model, right? We basically are building a RAG system, right? Fundamentally, this is a RAG. This is a RAG system. If you know what RAG is, RAG means, if you don't know, it's a retrieval augmented generation. So basically, instead of just directly feeding in our UI into let me show this differently. Instead of us just sort of feeding the query into an LLM and then having it go and try and somewhat find out who it is that we want to work with, we first force the LLM to consult a knowledge base. So for example, we would have this would be a vector database which contained all of the people applying, the current experts, so to speak, these people who have the skills that other people want to buy, and all of the data that goes under each of those. And then it will come in, it'll first go here, we'll get a new query, right? And then that will give us the output. So really, we're kind of building a RAG or some kind of structured filtering system flow. We don't actually need to train a model for this, right? Also, he gave me some sample data to work with, but it's nowhere near enough to do a whole like a to train a whole model. It would be very unnecessary. So how exactly do we want to go about building a RAG system like this, right? Where we can simply input a user query about I'm looking to grow my YouTube channel, and I want somebody who has this requirements. When you have hard filters like this, it's very easy because if they say YouTube, you can rule out everybody whose skill set isn't YouTube. The here is where we're gonna have to really rely on LLMs for this one because and also this semantic search is also gonna have to kind of be LLMs because somebody could put somebody could put marketing, somebody else writes direct response, somebody else writes ads. Really, if you need an expert to help you, it's very likely that any one of the people who are in these could help you. But you can't use words for that. We're looking that's why it's about the meaning of the words, right? So this is how we would go about building this kind of matching system anti-gravity. In anti-gravity, whatever. Okay, anti-gravity. In anti-gravity, we can build out the logic, we can build the RAG plus the filter, and we can connect it all to a user interface. So let's go into wow, hey, let's go into anti-gravity right now and build out this system for the client. All right, so I basically just explained to Gemini what we want to do, and I've said create a Gemini.md file for me to give anti-gravity as a directive. Don't forget the UI. So I was going to do that, and then we'll go ahead and we'll paste it in. So I'm going to open folder, and I'm going to just go ahead and make a new folder, lead matching. We'll make a lead matching system. Okay, and we'll start with a folder called directives. And in here we'll make a file called gemini.md. And now you look at this Gemini created this entire thing, so I'm just gonna copy this. We'll read it here in a second. Identity and role. So I'll also just go ahead and just kind of structure it better. So we want this as a heading 1 is identity and role. Or actually, this would be system instructions for the agent. All right. Context. This is also just going to be another. This one is 3, sure. This is 3. This is 3. Core operational logic. Step 1. Step 2. Step 3. So if we read it, I as the natural language query to extract the search identity, the target persona, hard constraints, platform must be YouTube, Instagram, budget, max price, monthly versus one time, soft constraints, semantic match, like crypto matches, fintech. Do not return any raw detail when you add component to visualize the result. Okay. Then we have the UI requirements, knowledge base, and data schemas. So here we have an example of a JSON schema, which is perfectly fine. Actually, this is a thing on its own, I believe. UI requirements, knowledge base, and data schema. All right, that's fine. We have the collaborator schema. We have the influencer schema. We have the brand schema. And then we obviously have an interaction example. Okay, this budget is 60K. Agent thought process searcher, brand tech, target influencer platform, filter, Keep tech with online AI explained. Discard gaming zone. 90K too expensive. AI explained is better for app review. It's a SaaS niche. Create React component displaying AI explained. Check with online as profile cards. Cool. This is gonna be the brain of the system. So all we're gonna do now is go into this. I'm using Opus 4.5. Yeah. All right. I'm gonna say read and understand Gemini MD and build the required system architecture. Okay. So this is very likely going just to be part one of this because this is going to take maybe about 4 hours to get it up and working. Here we will finish a lot, but we'll continue this in the next video as well. Well, look, it's made and it's um, had a bit of an error there. So I just switched the model to Sonnet. Let me create a comprehensive. So we're gonna wait for it to make this, and then we're gonna have to agree or disagree or edit the plan. But we have to wait for it first to make the implementation plan document. There was a major error with that chat. I don't know why it kept bugging. I've put it on Gemini 3 Pro High, and I've changed the prompt a little bit to focus on making it foundationally excellent. We will iterate throughout the build to test and improve continuously. I'm only saying this because I don't want it to go ahead and build everything all at once, and it can very well do it and in a very impressive way. But the problem is that as we fix and build upon it more, there's more stuff that can break. So we focus on just getting the foundation right, test it, see what it can do, and then slowly stack on other stuff. Because the problem with giving an LLM a huge task, is that they try and do everything all at once, and it doesn't end up being that good. So, okay, look, it made the plan. Here's the plan. Lead matching system implementation plan. A matchmaking engine for a creator economy marketplace that connects brands, influencers, and collaborators. The system will perform meaningful semantic ranking and constraint satisfaction to find optimal partners. All right. Initialize the Next.js application router using Tailwind and Next.js. That's fine. Define the TypeScript interfaces based on Gemini MD schemas. Matching logic. Create a smash service.typescript that takes a search query object for. Yeah, go for it. Okay. Anyways, while it's running, I just realized that there is a portion that we forgot to talk about, which I talked about it obviously with the client, but this isn't in the Gemini.md for some reason. One that was about people that were not supposed to be part of this thing. So that was people like who do crypto, or maybe AI influencers, or maybe people who do not safe for work content. Like you don't want to match somebody with an NSFW content creator, especially if that person is not looking to do NSFW content creation. So, that's something we should consider as well. Okay, just gonna let this do its thing. Implementation plan. So I just found the exact message when I asked him about this. I'll show it to you right now. I said here, Are there any hard filters that I should always apply before the AI even scores them? Said, yeah, no NSFW content like gambling or crypto companies. We don't work with those. Pricing extremes, zero past work, and fake or effort examples. This is important to consider for the agent. So I'm gonna copy this. Okay, copy this. And I'm gonna go here, and while it does this, I'm gonna open a new conversation. I'm gonna say I need you to read Gemini.md and add in the following in the appropriate place. So we go look at this one. Cannot create a project called lead matching system because npm naming restriction. Would you like to use the React compiler? No. No. We don't want to use the React compiler. No. No React compiler. I have updated this in step 2. Strict discard. Yeah, perfect. Okay. Create Next.js project. Now it's going to do the configure project structure. And we're going to go about this entire list. And that's what the agent will do this. And all we have to do is really, no, only thing we have to do as people who are building this is not even know how to code, but just pay attention to what the agent is saying over here, because there's always things you might want or not want, or things that you want to be included or not included, where you can obviously do all that through the chat interface. And I will need to tell the agent that there are new filtering rules, which are, so there are new filtering rules in Gemini.md. They are, and now paste them here. But I don't need to send that off yet. Waiting for the installation to finish. Okay. Let it run. Okay, the project initialization is mostly complete. All right, so I made a TypeScript file here, and it's edited task, so it's done this. Create mock data for all three types. All three types. Let's look at that file. Here is the mock data. It's mock collaborators. Mock data. We will use it to obviously, test the system. So far, so good. I'll press accept all. So as you can see, this is the thing. Vibe coding is crazy. Because look at this. Look at everything. When we started, we literally started with this. Simple English text to explain what needs to be done. This is what we started with. This is how it started. This is how it's going. Look at this. This is crazy. Okay, now I'm familiar with TypeScript, but I don't enjoy typing TypeScript or writing in TypeScript. So it's crazy that we have an agent that can actually just do that for us. I have implemented the matching logic in this whatever. Okay, here's the next thing I'm going to do now. I have been given a color template. So I'm going to go here, and this thing, we don't really need it right now. He gave me a color scheme that he wants me to use. So I'm going to go ahead and find that, and we're going to use that in the thing. It's the colors of his brand. And he also gave me a lot of, well, not a lot, but he gave me some good dummy data. So I'm going to just go ahead and copy this as well. So, okay, I've copied the dummy data. I'm going to go back to the agent that actually made that. Starting the dev server and verifying implementation. Okay, accept that. Okay, so look, we have it running. There should be a way to open it inside this, if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, here's what it looks like. We haven't done anything. So this, it's been 20 minutes we've been doing this, and we already have this. Simulate, I am a match, run crypto search. So as you can see, we have this here, which is done completely by the anti-gravity. So, and we also have, if you use anti-gravity extension, you also are able to, run this through the browser with the anti-gravity extension. I'm going to say three things, okay? One, check at gemini.md. There have been safety and integrity filters. So apply these where appropriate. They are the very first layer of matching. Strictly discard profiles like that. All right, two, these are some more sample profiles. Allocate them into their category in the dummy data TS file if they are not there, and I'll paste them in, and then I'll say three. Lastly, I need to give you a color scheme for the UI. It is, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you what the color palette is. So this is the color palette that I was given. So I'm gonna just go to save image. I'm gonna save it to downloads. Okay, if we go to public components, we don't have a UI folder. Okay, that's okay. I'm gonna put this into, and I'm gonna rename it to color palette. Okay, and now here, I'm gonna say it's at color underscore palette.jpg. And here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna take it from planning to fast so it executes quickly without having me to, if they are not already there. All right, so I've put it on fast. I'm gonna send this off. And now you'll see the difference between us using the planning mode versus the fast mode. Okay, so the fast mode isn't gonna ask us for really anything because this is not anything difficult to do. It just needs to put this into the dummy data that we have. It needs to simply add a TypeScript, add a simple filter to check for profiles that are in the banned list. And for number three, it simply has to get the colors and apply them. So as you can see, that isn't anything difficult really. So right now, I want you to see this. This is anti-gravity extension in the browser. You saw that blue outline. That's it figuring out the UI stuff. So if I press view, you can see this is what it did, right? This is playback of what it did, which is pretty crazy. Anyways, we'll go for accept all. Okay, I've validated that filter by safety is indeed the initial check of step 2, matching service.typescript. We can look at the file if we want to read the code. We're not going to do that because we're here to build systems that everybody, whether you have a CS degree or not, you can build it. Okay, I'm focusing on inserting data, primarily constructing the large object string. Okay, mapping data to schemas. All users, regardless of their specific role, can be classified as collaborators within the system, fitting the general definition of service provider. The JSON data. I'll rewrite. Oh, so it rewrote the mock collaborators. It's now rewriting the mock data because I gave it a bunch more mock data to put in, right? So it seems to still be doing that. Usually people have names, the user provided name. Okay. So we have a problem, a lint error. I have to add the name field to the collaborator definition because if we look at the collaborator, we have ID, role, niche, platform. Do you see name? Name is not there. So it's gonna go ahead and add name. I'm not gonna do it. I could do it, but it's gonna do it by itself. There it is, see? Name. Okay. Now we go back here and the error is gone. As you can see, got a lot more data now. I gave it a bunch of data. It's much to do it. I've been zeroing on the dark theme implementation, focusing on this, whatever. Let's look at the UI changes it made. The UI, oh, wow. That's good. Given the color scheme I gave it, where did I put that? Here it is. Given the color scheme, that isn't too bad, but I would really tell it to focus on using it's given us okay, thank you. This is not the same yellow, and I'm not really worried about the errors in the code because the agent is still going. It's still running, as you can see. It's gonna fix the errors. But if we go look at we look at this, F5C518. So we have we have the hex code of the color. So if I search for F5C518, you can see that's what it's used. Even though it doesn't really look like that's what it's used, because when you look at this, it seems a lot brighter, but it's not. It's actually that one. Matchmaking edge and greater economy system. So I'll just take a screenshot of this and I'll go here and I'm gonna say, but we need a search query above that. And we'll send that. Okay. Now, there's clearly some issues with the code here. Parameter match is possibly null. So I just clicked this and I clicked explain and fix. Agent execution terminated due to model provider overload. Switching it to Sonnet. While that runs, we have put this here. Oh, this is pending. That's interesting. It's pending. Why is it pending? It should be already submitted. Okay. Problem explanation. The TypeScript error match possible null occurs on line 1. Even though Boolean removes values at runtime, script's type system doesn't narrow the type automatically. Oh, I see. Okay, so it fixed it, which is really what matters. All right, open up the UI here. We still haven't got the search engine, so let's go here. Review changes. Yeah, so I've already accepted all those changes. I'm gonna send this off now. I'll add natural language search input above the sample query buttons to allow users to type their own queries while still having quick access. Perfect. That's perfectly fine. So I will let you do that and I'll end the video here. We've done a lot already within such a short amount of time. We've got a functioning UI. We have basically built so this is why I said we build the basic, like the fundamental architecture first, and then we're gonna stack the stuff on top of it. He told me I messaged him when it's ready so he can look at it. He's not really in a rush, which means I can probably finish this up by today night or tomorrow. And I'll obviously film the second part of this video. So we can go ahead and we'll stack on top of this more things. Like we're going to have to create an env file so we can have API keys. I'm going to put a Gemini key and I'm going to put a OpenAI key. And I'm going to have those be the semantic search checkers as well as soft filters. Okay? There you go. Got it. Natural language search query is working. Perfect. Okay, awesome. So we have this done. That's it. I hope you guys liked it. If there's one thing you take away from this video, if you're gonna build a project in Antigravity or in any agentic IDE, make a file, an MD file with the system instructions for the agent. It makes life way easier. It understands everything way better, and you don't have to write it yourself. Gemini wrote my Gemini file. So, I just use Gemini Pro. I told it what I want to do. Make an MD file with directives. There you have it. And then you can have a separate chat agent to monitor and edit the directives file. That's obviously me. You can also just try that and see how it goes. Anyways, as you can see, it did so much by itself. Hope you guys liked this. I'll catch you in the next one where we'll finish up the build for the client. See you then.